You know, I mean, the next person has really helped us so much. I mean, she's a founding member of the organization, and she's done so much for us. And I mean, I could really just talk about her for hours. 'Cause, you know, this is a very interesting person, as well as her family. And she's a playwright and actor, an international performance artist, historian, activist, and lifelong East Harlem resident, and daughter of East Harlem community leaders Pete and Rose Pasquale. I'd like to welcome her up right now. LuLu, LoLo, Pasquale, everyone.
Oh, it's been wonderful today, this outpouring, and we'll see if I can get through this without my usual starting to cry. I have lots of these. You can have more than one. If you didn't get one, make sure I'll give them to you. During my childhood in East Harlem, Marc and his wife, Miriam Sanders, were a presence in my life. They were both friends of my parents, the community activists, Pete and Rose Pasquale. Miriam Sanders was a social worker at Harlem House. I remember her tall and gentle in her tweed suits. And Marc was always a topic of conversation in our house, how he would help everyone. My father would say, Marc was always broke. He never had a nickel. He'd give his last money to anybody that asked. If you went up to him and said, Marc, I need $2. If he had $2, he'd give you his last $2. Red the barber, his shop was next door to Harlem House. Marc would go there, get a haircut and shave from Red, and we'd all be in there. And Marc would say, Red, give me a couple of bucks. I just gave a guy all my money. And Red would say, geez, you're always giving your money away. Everyone knew they could find Marc at Red the barber shop. That was his other office. Recently, I saw an old campaign film of Marc walking from his office on 116th Street, and seeing that, I'm going to try here. Seeing that brought back my memories of him walking down the street in East Harlem. I especially remember one day when I was a little girl walking home from Harlem House with my father, my hand in his, and at the corner of 2nd Avenue and 116th Street by Sincati's Bakery, a few steps from Marc's office, in the distance I saw Marc coming towards us. And I said to myself, oh no, for I knew that Marc and my father would stand on that street corner and talk for a very long time. And me being a good little Italian-American girl, I knew I would have to stand there and be quiet. I wish I could remember what they were talking about. Marc would always smile at me, and I think his charisma is one reason I remember him. My father always spoke of him with great admiration. My father never forgave Cardinal Spellman for not allowing Marc to have his funeral in Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church. But they allowed the biggest racketeer to have a funeral mass at the church. My father was upset for Marc's elderly mother, who could not understand why her son was not allowed in the church. Marc was a mentor to my father. They both shared the same idealism and both devoted their lives to the community they loved and served. Marc never backed down, and yes, he voted his conscience. I ask you all, where is the Vito Marcantonio of today? Thank you.